up, guys? So just like my top 10 most anticipated films to see at the Venice 2019 Film Festival, this video is bringing you my top 10 most anticipated films to see at the Toronto International Film Festival 2019. Be sure to let me know what your most anticipated films to see at the Toronto International Film Festival are in that comment section down below. And if you guys don't want to miss any of my upcoming reviews that are going to be nice and early, both from the Venice and Toronto Film Festivals, be sure to click that subscribe button and of course hit the bell if you want to get those alerts. Just a heads up though, as this is a top 10 and there's so many great films premiering at Toronto this year, I'm not going to be talking about films that I've already previously mentioned in my top 10 films to see at Venice. So if you're expecting to hear me talk about The Laundromat, Joker, or Marriage Story, you're not going to hear me talking about those films in this video because I already talked about them in the Venice lineup, okay? So if you want to hear me talk about those films, go check out that video. There are only 10 slots in this video and it was very hard to whittle it down, so I can't talk about films I've already listed. So just giving you a heads up, okay? So in no particular order, here are 10 films at TIFF 2019 that I'm very keen to see. Kicking off the list at number 10, we have the directorial follow-up from Marielle Heller's previous film, Can You Ever Forgive Me? And it's the Mr. Rogers biopic starring Tom Hanks, and it's called A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I loved Can You Ever Forgive Me? And I love Tom Hanks, so duh, I cannot wait to see this film. Tom Hanks is playing the iconic children's TV presenter and entertainer Mr. Fred Rogers, complete with sweaters and big fluffy eyebrows. The trailer alone paints a feel-good film that illustrates the importance and necessity of treating one another with kindness, as well as expressing our emotions in a healthy way. A message that feels all too relevant in today's troubling times. Makes me think, is this going to be the film that gets Tom Hanks his long-awaited 6th Oscar nomination? It just boggles my mind that he hasn't been nominated for an Oscar since 2001 with Castaway. And he's had so many amazing roles in so many amazing films over the last like 20 years and he hasn't had a nomination. It just baffles me. Could A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood finally be the film that gets him his 6th Oscar nomination? God, I hope so. If you can't tell, I love Tom Hanks. Right, so let's move on to number 9, and the next film that I'm very keen to see at TIFF is the historical biopic, which is directed by Kassi Lemmons and stars Cynthia Erivo as very famous abolitionist Harriet Tubman, and it's called Harriet. This biographical drama could be a huge awards contender next year. You guys probably recognize Cynthia Erivo from supporting roles in films like last year's Widows and Bad Times at the El Royale. Well, here she is up front, center stage as Harriet Tubman, who was born into slavery, escaped, and then subsequently helped other slaves break free by using the Underground Railroad. Cynthia Erivo is already a legend on Broadway, but this film could potentially catapult her into becoming a household name, because this is a performance that looks very Oscar baity. She could very well get a nomination for Best Actress next year. It's going to be a very topical film. It's going to be very interesting to see how it's received. So yeah, keep an eye out for Cynthia Erivo and Kassi Lemmons. They're two names you're going to be hearing a lot of soon. So next, at number 8, we have a film that reunites the stars of The Theory of Everything, because we've got Felicity Jones playing pilot Amelia Wren, and we've got Eddie Redmayne playing scientist James Glacier, who embark on an epic journey in a hot air balloon, and it's called The Aeronauts. This film just sounds like a fun, action, adventure type of film that I can get on board with. Let's just hope it takes off. Yeah? It's directed by Tom Harper, who directed Wild Rose, so I'm keen to see what he can do with a big budget. So moving on to number 7, and we have a whodunit murder mystery by director Rian Johnson, who directed The Last Jedi, and it's called Knives Out. Apparently this film is a loving tribute to the classic Agatha Christie whodunit novels. This film stars Daniel Craig as Detective Blanc, who is called in to investigate after Christopher Plummer's character is murdered at his 85th birthday party. And all the suspects are his friends and family, so he's gonna piece it all together. With an all-star cast that includes Toni Collette, Jamie Lee Curtis, Chris Evans, Don Johnson, Lakeith Stanfield, and Michael Shannon, there's plenty to be excited for this one. Let's just hope it's better than the recent star-studded whodunit murder mystery, Murder on the Orient Express. Right, at number 6 we have another biopic, and it's not even the last biopic on this list. God, TIFF loves a biopic. This one is directed by Rupert Gould and is centered around the magnificent singer Judy Garland, who's being played by Renee Zellweger. It is, of course, the film Judy. Yes, the gay boy is excited about a movie about Judy Garland. Wow, how cliche. Yes, it's so fabulous that I'm excited. I don't care. The film is actually set towards the end of Judy Garland's life when she embarked on a sold-out concert tour in London. The film is based off an Olivier-nominated play called End of the Rainbow and looks all kinds of fabulous, so I'm gonna go see it. Bye, Felicia. Right, so coming in at number 5, we have Bad Education. Nope, not the trashy Jack Whitehall film. This Bad Education is based on true events. It's directed by Corey Finley and details the embezzlement of $11 million from the public school sector by Superintendent Frank Tassone, who's played in this film by Hugh Jackman. The real Frank Tassone was sentenced to prison in 2006 because this was the largest embezzlement in the public school sector ever. And this could be a really fun, interesting crime comedy because it's got Alison Janney in it, Alex Wolff, even Ray Romano, and apparently Hugh Jackman is playing very against his type in this film, and I love Hugh Jackman, so I can't wait to see him in this, so yeah. Let's go see Bad Education. Boom. Next on number 4, we have another star-studded biopic, and it's about cars. I don't like cars usually, but yeah, this one I'm actually keen to see because it's directed by James Mangold, who did Logan and Walk the Line, and it stars Matt Damon and Christian Bale, so there's plenty to be excited about. By the way, it's called Ford v Ferrari, okay? The film is about the remarkable true story of visionary car designer Carroll Shelby, who's played by Matt Damon, and how he worked together with his driver Kevin Miles, who's played by Christian Bale, to create the revolutionary GT40 Ford car, which could compete against Ferrari in the 1966 24-hour endurance Le Mans race in France. Do I sound like I know what I'm talking about? I don't know shit about cars, but I'm just repeating back everything that I saw on the internet. Cars are not my territory, but this film looks amazing. It looks high octane, well acted, well shot. Oh, it looks beautiful. And because James Mangold has proven that, you know, he doesn't sacrifice character depth over spectacle, that this is going to be an incredible fun watch, and I'm really excited to see it. Right, so moving on to number 3, and it might seem like an odd choice because it's technically an Adam Sandler film, but I'm very curious to see his latest film, Uncut Gems, which is a film about this New York jeweler who makes a series of high-stakes bets, and he must juggle family, business, and adversaries in pursuit of the ultimate win. That's all the information that I can find on the internet about this film. But the main pull factor for me wanting to see this film is because it's directed by the Safdie brothers, who directed one of my favorite films of 2017, Good Time, which was a complete sleeper hit, but it also had one of the best performances from Robert Pattinson in, a performance that flew under the radar of most people, and it also maybe completely changed my opinion on him as an actor. So my brain is wondering, can the Safdie brothers do for Adam Sandler what they did for our Pats? I'm very curious. So yeah, I'm very excited to see Uncut Gems. And will Uncut Gems be a gem in the TIFF festival lineup? God, go on, Luke. Alright, so moving on to number 2, and we have Edward Norton's passion project, Motherless Brooklyn, which is an adaptation of Jonathan Lathem's crime novel, which Edward Norton has wrote the screenplay for himself, as well as directing the film and also acting in the film. So yeah, a lot of passion. Apparently this film is set in 1950s New York around a private eye with Tourette syndrome who's trying to solve the murder of his friend and mentor, who's played by Bruce Willis. This noir crime drama boasts an impressive cast alongside Edward Norton and Bruce Willis. You've got Gugu Mbatha-Raw, Willem Dafoe, Alec Baldwin, and Leslie Mann. The film looks at political division, institutionalized racism, and the cracks in the idea of American life. Apparently it's taken over 20 years for Edward Norton to get this film made, but finally he can debut his thrilling crime noir for the world, and hopefully it goes down well. Before we get to number 1, I just want to do an honorable mentions because there is an abundance of awesome films that are going to be at Toronto Film Festival, but this is just the top 10, so I can't possibly talk about them all, but I just want to give them a quick acknowledgement. And they include John Crowley's The Goldfinch, which stars Nicole Kidman, Lorenz Scaffaria's Hustler, which is about a bunch of female strippers who take on a bunch of Wall Street moguls. Eddie Murphy's new film looks like it could be his comeback, and that's called Dolomite Is My Name, which is directed by Craig Brewer, and it sees Eddie Murphy play the legendary blaxploitation movie star Rudy Ray Moore. Fernando Marielle's The Two Popes, which stars Jonathan Pryce and Anthony Hopkins as the two popes, John Paul and Benedict. The closing film of the festival by Marjane James Satrapi, Radioactive, which is all about the scientist Madame Curie, who's being played by Rosamund Pike. Abominable, which is the latest computer animated film from DreamWorks and is all about an adorable Yeti. The new family dramedy Blackbird, which is directed by Roger Mitchell and stars Susan Sarandon, Kate Winslet, Maya Wasikowska, and Sam Neill. This year's Palme d'Or winning film from director Bong Joon-ho, Parasite. The Lighthouse, which also premiered at Cannes this year and stars Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, is directed by Robert Eggers. How to Build a Girl by director Koki Gaidroik. Justin Cazell's True History of the Kelly Gang, which is about an Australian bushranger and his gang who are being chased down by the authorities. And Daniel Cretton's Just Mercy, a seething political drama about a defense attorney who tries to get a death row inmate exonerated, and it stars Brie Larson, O'Shea Jackson, Michael B. Jordan, and Jamie Foxx. So we finally get to number 1 on this list, and the last film that I'm so excited to see at TIFF this year is the newest film from Thor Ragnarok director Taika Waititi, and it's called Jojo Rabbit. This film is about a young boy called Jojo who's recruited by the Hitler Youth, and learns that his mother, who's played by Scarlett Johansson, is hiding a Jewish girl in their house. In the hands of any other director, that would probably sound like a gritty war drama, but this film has a little bit of a twist to it because the boy in this film has an invisible imaginary friend who looks exactly like Adolf Hitler and is played by Taika Waititi himself. So yeah, it's got a little bit of a comedic, satirical twist to it. The film also stars Sam Rockwell, Rebel Wilson, Alfie Allen, Stephen Merchant, and Roman Griffin Davis as the lead boy Jojo Betzler. This film has been described as an anti-hate satire and has the type of premise that will either be regarded as genius or disastrous. Disney have already started getting nervous about the acquisition of this film because of its controversial content. Oh, we don't want to be associated with Nazis in Germany and the Holocaust. But yeah, they got it in the acquisition and they've absorbed the film, so yeah, they have to deal with it, and they're sort of testing the waters with it at TIFF to see if it's going to be regarded as something wonderful or something atrocious. Right, there we go guys, that is my list for my top 10 most anticipated films to see at the Toronto Film Festival, but I want to hear from you guys. What films at Toronto this year are you excited to see? Be sure to let your voice be heard in that comment section down below. Be sure to check out my video for my top 10 films to see at Venice as well. I'll put a little box here for you to click on that at the end of this video. And yeah, I will be doing lots of reviews for both Venice and Toronto, so there'll be lots of early reviews of these highly anticipated films. So if you don't want to miss any of that, consider hitting that subscribe button, hit the bell if you want those alerts, and of course, you know, if you want to stay up to date with my schedule, you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Airfield, and I'll see you next time.